Ever thought of you could have a doppelgänger of yourself somewhere in the world? I have heard the term of doppelganger since I was in school, and often wondered if I could have one of myself, but never looked much into it though. But it would eventually come back to me years later. My name is Byron, and this is my story. I will give you a brief backstory what led up to this. When me and my twin brother were born, our parents weren't married. They were only dating, but they realized raising twins would have been a very much a difficult task. So they decided to break up. And it wasn't a messy one. My mom decided to keep my twin brother and my dad to keep me. And from that moment, I was the only child in my dad's family. But I wasn't even never aware that I had a twin brother or even a brother at all. For some reason, every time when I was with family like grandparents or other cousins, the topic of my twin brother was never even brought up. In fact, I don't understand why, but in the end, I am not angry to my dad who never to revealing this. But now, with that background story taken care of, now to the main story. It happened when I was about 20 years old. This was only a few years ago. I was still living with my dad at the moment, but I was planning to move out to my own place with my girlfriend Jennifer. And this happened one day when I was in my bed just relaxing when suddenly my girlfriend Jennifer called me. Hey Jennifer, how are you doing? Are you still excited for our date this Friday? But it wasn't her sweet, cheerful voice, but rather more angry, crying type of voice. Whoa, 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 Jennifer, what was the matter? How could you cheat on me? I was stunned. Cheating? That was like the first word she even considered to saying like that. I was stunned. I sat up in my bed and I was at first quiet for only a brief moment before I snapped out of it and said, What? I had not even been cheating on you. Why do you even think like that? Then said to me that she saw me in town, but I hadn't even been in town today. Don't lie to me. I saw you. I promise you, I have never even been in town today. I've been home all day. I swear to you on that. Then she sent me a photo on the phone, and it was about a picture of a guy that looked similar to me with another girl holding hands. I couldn't even believe it, but I calmed down. I said to her, firm but calm, Jennifer, we have been dating since senior year of high school. And have I ever shown any sign of being cheating or unfaithful to you? No, exactly. So why would I suddenly doing it? You know how much we love each other, and we had even talked about getting our own place soon. So why would I even go this far to jeopardize that? If we had talked of to start moving in together, then would I would even going far to be cheating on you? I I don't know. This might just be a guy that just looks similar to me. Trust me, I will never cheat on you. You have my words on it as your boyfriend. Even though I could tell that Jennifer was hesitating to even to believe in me. But since we have been dating since our senior year of high school, I had never been unfaithful to her. Every time when she was struggling with homework or even maybe some drama at home or some of her friends, I was always there for her at any time, especially when it was middle of the night or in early morning. I always make my time to be with her, even if I was at work or something. I wasn't telling her I will always be there. And now that suddenly, out of the blue, being accused of cheating is one of the worst emotions that I couldn't even imagine, since I had never been accused of cheating in anything, not in a relationship, in a game, or a test. But I was calm. I told her if she needs time to think about this, to put our plans of moving in on hold, it's fine by me, I said to her. No, I trust you. Good. Because I never would even do this to you. You know that. And I could hear that she was at least now more believing and more trusting in me. And then we'd small talk a little more until we hang up the call. I was just still sitting there. I was still stunned of what she just accused me of cheating. But then I looked into the photo. The guy did look similar to me, and I thought maybe it was just a random guy that just happened to have the same type of hairstyle, same clothing style that, and I admit he did look close like me, looking like me, but that was just it. But then it remembered to me, doppelgänger. I was laughing to myself. Maybe this is my own doppelganger in our own town. But I wasn't even not sure about this. But what I did not know, that eventually a big secret would eventually be revealed. Only about a few days later, me and Jennifer, we were in town. And we were just spending some time. I was outside at a small town in a small store, since Jennifer was in there to get something. And while I was waiting outside, suddenly a girl walked up to me. Hey, there you are, Leon. Why are you here? I was confused. I didn't even recognize this girl. Excuse me? My name isn't Leon. Don't lie to me. I noticed you, Leon, but you do look a little bit different. Different style of your hair. Have you changed your hair or something? No, this is what I always have. Then who are you? Wait, you don't even recognize your own girlfriend? My girlfriend isn't you. Mine isn't in the store right now. At that moment, Jennifer came out, and she saw me talking to this girl, and she suddenly got mad. She was getting upset that I was suddenly in this deep conversation, but quickly changed because she looked more confused because she could see that I was talking to this girl. It was not like a romantic type thing, more like try to solve a problem kind of way. She looked even both confused and tried to figure out exactly what is happening. And even as though suddenly another guy just walked up, and to my astonishment, this guy looked exactly like me and then hit me. This is the guy of the photo that Jennifer took only a few days ago. And we just stood there staring at each other, not saying a word. It was then when Jennifer suddenly broke the silence and suggested we go to a cafe nearby to sort these things out. We all agreed, just by nodding. And we went to the cafe We ordered something to drink and we sat down by a booth and we started talking. First, I learned that this guy's name was Leon, since it turns out that he was the other girl named Kayla's girlfriend. And even he was surprised to see there was a guy looked similar to him. And I was almost saying, he was like, if you could be my doppelgänger. He laughed and it sounded like we had the same type of laugh. And even though that we were surprised, but I asked about his parents. Well, it turns out he had similar background. Turns out his dad and his mom were once dating, split up, and she took custody of him. Well, that's it. I asked Leon if he had a photo of his mother, since I had seen photos of my mother in my own home. And he did show me a photo of a woman, and too much astonishment. Um, is her name Mary, by any chance? Yeah, how did you know? This is this. Um, well, is your dad's name Thomas? Yeah, how did you even know that? And then I showed him my phone with me, a photo of me and my dad, and he was like, wait. Then it clicked in his mind. Are you my brother? Both Kayla and Jennifer looked stunned when he said brother. It seems like it, but wait. Then Kayla said, almost in a quiet but a little bit firm tone, since you two look like him, it is only logical answer. You are identical twins, said Jennifer as to finish it. And then hit us. We weren't doppelgangers, but identical twins. We just sat there, four of us, in silence. We tried to figure out exactly what had happened. And I asked him, have your mom or our mom ever told you about me? He shook his head, said no. That's something similar to me. This is a lot to handle, I bet. But we decided to just leave the cafe and go home. Before we left, I got his number and I gave his. And when I came home, late in the evening, when Dad came home from work, I asked him, Dad, do I have a twin brother? He wasn't even somehow shocked. He just looked at me with a smile and said, yes, you do. I was going to tell you about your brother eventually when you were old enough. But how did you even know? There's like no photos of you and your brother in the house. I never mentioned it. None of the other relatives even mentioned him. No, but then I showed him a photo of me and Leon together. He looked now surprised. What? How? Then people sat down in the living room and I explained to him. So that's what had happened. Well, I have heard stories similar to this, that identical twins would eventually meet up again after some years, but I understand if you're upset. Well, I wouldn't say upset, more like confused of why you didn't even told me earlier. I mean, you could have told me that when I was still like 15 or even 18. But I'm just happy that. But were the relationship or the breakup between you and mom a messy one? Since you were apparently not even married. Oh no, no. It was a mutual ending actually. He told me the reason. Since they had learned 20 years ago that they were expecting twins, they knew for the fact it would be a more difficult task. Raising one kid would have been something, but two, since it was put a strain on the resource, the finances, and since dad was only working part time, so it makes sense. So that they decided to split up, but they were kept updated about their own son's development from in our childhood, especially like let's say dad informed my mom about my childhood from first grade to middle school, high school, and currently. Same thing as she did vice versa about Leon. He gave her some pictures sometimes and even some recordings and then he told me the cards that I got with some money in with happy birthday or when I finished high school or something was actually from my mom. She still thought about me. She wanted to meet me someday, but I was ready. So I suggest, how about we have dinner, all of us, four of us together? Just try to reconnect. I mean, I'm not trying to make you and mom go back together, just we could perhaps spend time, just try to be as a family. My dad was actually okay with that, and he said he still actually have my mom's phone number. Turns out they actually have been a very much a good friendship over the years. So when he texted her that same moment, she responded with a big yes. On that Friday, we actually went out to eat, right from being one of our houses. And of course, during dinner, my mom asked me a lot of questions about me, about school, if I'm dating someone. It turns out Leon didn't tell her about me and Jennifer, but I showed a photo of me and Jennifer on my phone and said that we have been talking about getting our own place soon. She asked a house? Not exactly, more like an apartment as a start. And from that day, my mom sometimes came over for dinner, and we sometimes went over to her place. And sometimes I actually went over with Jennifer, just me and her. And my mom, well, let's say she clicked a lot fast with Jennifer. And, well, that was some years ago. Now, me and Jennifer are actually married. And I have to say, when we announced that we were expecting our first child, both my mom and my dad was very happy. You may ask, are they dating, married? No, unfortunately, no. But me and Leon are actually very happy still that they are still very close friends. But I was expecting maybe that they would rekindle their friendship more to romance, perhaps get married. But even though they both admit they still have feelings for each other, but since they hadn't even seen each other like that in 20 years, so yeah. But now, being happily married with Jennifer, and once again reunited with my twin brother, Leon, it was an it was a big surprise. I have always heard stories about people reunited when they're twin sibling or even a doppelgänger, but this time it was my own identical twin. Even though Leon is now also married to Kayla and they have two daughters of themselves and me, Jennifer, well, we have two boys, twins actually, identical twins. So yeah, we weren't expecting, well, that. But now we have a big support from Leon, Kayla, and my mom and my dad, and of course from Jennifer's parents. So yeah, this is my story how I eventually would once again reunite with my twin brother. Thank you for listening.